Welcome back to another video. We are about to watch a really crazy prison story to keep you safe and out of Yale.
When people ask me what's the craziest thing I've seen in prison or circumstance or situation that I was around in prison, there's a few stories, but I tell this one because it doesn't necessarily include violence. And it shows you how twisted prison can be and why you should never want to go to a place like that.
Facts.
It's basically what happened, and of course I'll change names, etc. Out of respect for anybody, you know what I'm saying? But I find it important to educate in this moment why you shouldn't go to prison, right? So, to put it in short, young man had came up there to Sussex too. By this time, I had been down a few years, and I could tell when he came into the dorm, he had not been locked up anywhere, probably but the jail. He didn't know what was going on. He was green. And if I could see that, other guys could see that. And what happens in an environment, a couple of things. Sometimes you get left alone where I was at. Sometimes the gang members are going to approach you to see, you know, what you down with, what you rep, if they see tattoos, etc. And then sometimes the old heads that's into certain things, and not just the old heads, it could be anybody that's into certain things, they going to approach you and try to manipulate you so they can get you in their pocket and eventually get some favors from you. That's what happens. People don't talk about this stuff. And again, it doesn't happen for everybody. Different systems, different situations. But I'm just saying, this is what was happening in this moment to this young man. Because while he sat his bag down and came back out of his cell just to see what was going on in the environment, asked the CO some questions because obviously he had never been here before. One of the old heads that was into no good was known to have several relationships and even been known to do some pimping and pandering back there. Believe it or not, because that's something crazy that happens in the system sometimes. He approached this young man, and it was like clockwork. Not even 30 minutes later, I seen this young man, and so did everybody else, because the dorms was so big, with soups in his hand. He was smoking roll up in the corner. That's tobacco.
That's how they got him. The old dude gave him a little couple trinkets, and now he owed the old dude some favors. Some favors for the soups and the product that he gave him. It's over with. It's donezo. Oh yeah. I know where this is going. Old head done got the young boy. In 30 minutes, that's record time.
Now the problem is this: he has never went to commissary, so that means somebody had given him this stuff, and who had given him this stuff was the older gentleman that was down on him for reasons he probably didn't know about. Well, over time, it went from the young man having a couple of soups to eat every night and being happy about it and thinking he met a new friend to sitting down and making meals with the older gentleman. Eventually, over time, they would move into the cell together.
Butt buddies.
It happens in prison, y'all. Again, everybody doesn't do the same things. I want to be clear. There's a lot of stigma when it comes to certain things. To each his own. Everybody's preference is everybody's preference. But it does happen back there. It does. And it's not uncommon to see two men move into the cell with one another.
Yes,
if
it
they're
is.
in a relationship. And so this young man moved into the cell with this older guy. All this probably happened in the course of 3 weeks. Because the older gentleman, he had some influence on the compound. So it was easy for him to get some cell changes done with the COs, etc. Around this time, they had passed a rule up there where you could put your pictures of your family members and loved ones on the wall. This was a big thing. May seem so small to y'all if you've never been to prison, but to be able to put pictures of your loved ones on the wall, that is amazing. That's fire, and it's needed. You need sometimes to be able to get up, see a picture of your mom or your child or whatever, and be motivated to get through the day.
Why wasn't that enough motivation when you was free? You could see them in real life. You could touch them, talk to them as many times as you want. Why is it when people go to jail, in prison, that's when they want to start following the rules? Like, people will escape from prison, and then once they escape, that's when they want to follow the rules, get a job, and want to be a regular civilian. Why didn't you do that before you got in trouble, got convicted, went in front of the judge, it did all that stuff? Like, why not just get it right the first time? Why is y'all playing around with y'all lives? And now all you got is this little photo of your family member and of your daughter that you're gonna have to look at for the next 27 years. She gonna be this small for the next 27 years because you can get your act right. Now you complaining. Now you crying. Now you sitting in the cell. Now you got a butt buddy that's trying to give you soups and all that stupid stuff. See, and these rappers be telling y'all, don't snitch, go to jail. Jail is fun. Young Thug, YSL, YSL, and Ratlanta. They be telling you all these things to try and hype up jail. Why would you want to go there? This is the dumbest thing on earth. Why would y'all intentionally do things to want to go and get locked up? This dude, this is crazy. I want to hear him tell us what he did. I know this ain't about him, and this is about the dude getting his yams taken. But why did you go to jail?
So everybody was excited, and as we found out the story from one of the young man's homeboys later on, because we want to know what happened. What happened was the young man was putting his pictures up on the wall. And the older gentleman seen a picture of somebody looked familiar. And he asked the young man that he was in a relationship with, he said, hey, who is that? The young man said, oh, that's my mother. Old head, being manipulative and all that. You know what I'm saying? I guess he was trying to get in with his mom at the same time. I don't know. But he was like, man, let me talk to her one time. I think I know her. You know what I'm saying? Such and such. So evidently, the young man said, cool, you might do. Da, da, da. Now, I want to tell you this. The young man was about 22 years old, 23 maybe, probably closer to 21, somewhere in that range. Old had been down for 20 years. So anybody he might have known, he didn't know anymore. So there's a part of me looking at the story or hearing about the story. Maybe he genuinely didn't know who this lady was and he was just reaching out to her. Maybe he got scared and wanted to double check something. I don't know what happened. But what I do know what happened next is that the young man that he was in a relationship with put him on the phone, three-way phone call. And I remember because we were playing poker right there, and the phone that we play, or table we play poker at is right there by the phones. Why? We can get to the phone, we can run back to the poker table. We drink our coffee, get back to the phone. It was just our spot right there. And you're not ear hustling, but a lot of times you hear the conversations. And I remember the two walking out. And I don't mean to laugh because it's not funny, but it's so crazy. They're getting on the phone, and the young man says, hey, this my mama, you could talk to her. The old head gets on the phone, and probably not even, 2 minutes, 3 minutes later, you just hear him screaming. And when he starts screaming, he's looking at the young man and says, you're my son.
Oh! What? I thought I knew where this story was going. I thought he was just going to talk about how he took him. He's taking his son. This is disgusting. This man is in a relationship with his own son, taking his own son's Junie cakes. He's butt buddies with his father, and this is a father-son butt buddy situation. This is the most disgusting thing I've ever heard. This is worse than Fleece Johnson stories. This dude is taking the cheeks of his son. But run it back. So he's giving his son cakes. He's provided for his son after 22 years by giving him cakes. And now, after he's been forcing his son to give up his cakes for cakes. Cake for cake exchange? When he ain't provided for his son for 22 years, I blame the mama too. The son need to be mad at the mama because the mama passed down jail genes to the baby. She had a baby with a jailbird. Dude, jailbird. She knew he was in the streets trapping. He was going to jail. She knew that. Why you even mess with him? And then now the baby in jail getting his yams taken by his own father. This is the craziest thing I ever heard in my life. This is why you do not want to go to jail, because if you go to jail, your pops can be taking your cheeks. Out there holding his pockets like this. You out there holding your pop's pockets like this. Walk around. Your hole wide open. Your boom boom hole wide open. Fart sounding like every fart going out your butt because he been ramming it in there. Just go. Sound like Potter coming out.
My son. I've been messing with my son. He said a few other things. The young man started to break down, crying, sobbing. It was... Disgusting. I don't want to use... It was a horrible moment, right? Teach his own when it comes to preference. But this story illustrates a disconnect from society. Why you should do your homework just in life with anybody you deal with.
What?
Especially in any way like that. You know what I'm saying? Relationship wise, etc. And yeah, it just reveals how sick prison is. You know, the manipulation aspect, and it's twisted because this old head who was preying on somebody, the whole time he was preying on his own son, and he didn't even know it. So yeah, that was one of the craziest things, if not the craziest thing I've seen in prison.
That is the most disturbing and disgusting thing I've ever heard in my life. Wow, this man got that's some sick karma to get. You've been preying on people and then you prey on your own son and cause your own son trauma. So did they stay in a relationship after? What happened? Did somebody get transferred? Did they stay in the same room? Like, now that y'all father and son, y'all can start bonding. Hopefully y'all not still bonding in that way, but y'all can start bonding. Like, now you can be involved in each other's lives as long as y'all still there. This is a crazy beginning to a great end. Like, y'all can actually start developing love for one another. Can you do that after you done took your son's rump? Cause I don't know if you can do that. This story is just confusing me. It's disgusting. And this is an example of why you should not be going to jail, going to prison, doing that crime. If you watching this and doing a crime right now, I'm a snitch and you need to stop. Use this as motivation to stop doing them crimes, them PPP loans, scamming, phishing attacks where you're trying to take people money. Whatever you're doing, you gift cards, whatever it is, you need to stop doing it. Go into the ATMs, depositing fake checks. They gonna catch you. Stop doing it, because you may end up in the penitentiary system with your pops taking your rumpus. Guys, let me know if you like the video down in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe for more. I'm out of here. Peace.